I'm here to tell you why you should not worry about Brandon Aiyuk and his contract negotiations with the San Francisco 49ers on the heels of Justin Jefferson absolutely obliterating the wide receiver market, becoming the highest paid non quarterback in the NFL, beating out Nick Bosa, who earned that title with his contract negotiation last year. Now, yes, getting $140 million over the course of his deal is pretty daunting to look at when you look at $110 million guaranteed. And I think it was 88.7 million fully guaranteed. The way the contract breaks out, you're looking at it and you're like, there's no way that Brandon Ayuk's price didn't go up with this whole situation. And I have some insight that I want to share with you about this situation as to why I believe there isn't any need for concern or anyone to freak out, because I have seen a lot of the comments, a lot of the commentary. I would say it's about 50-50 between the fan base on everyone who comments on my videos, on my Instagram, on my Twitter, all these different types of things. When we post this type of content, you get there's a duality of the fan base. Half the fan base is like, hurry up, get this guy paid, get him what he deserves so we can move on and we can get ready for the season. And then there's another portion of the fan base who's like, oh, this is too expensive, this is too much, we can't afford him, I don't want him at this rate, oh, he's a diva, blah, all these different types of things. And I think it's important for us to really just kind of stay grounded. I think the uncertainty in this situation is what makes fans kind of spin, because we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, what the contract negotiations look like, and where the stalling points are on why the deal hasn't gotten done yet. But I do, again, it's very similar to the conversation that we had last week when we saw two more wide receivers get extended, in Jalen Waddle with the Miami Dolphins and Nico Collins as well. With Brandon Aiyuk, I think they're really close. I really do. There is a gap and it's going to need to be bridged. But obviously, with where we are at in June and how the 49ers typically go about their business, we would expect there to be some time for that gap to be bridged. Now, it is going to be fascinating to see what the ultimate structure of the deal looks like, but it does feel like the deal will probably be aiming towards a 3-year deal with a lot of the money built in that 3-year structure. And we'll see if there are any additional years tacked on in order to get the APY up. That remains to be seen. But I think really when we look at the negotiations between Brandon Aiyuk and the San Francisco 49ers, I believe they are a lot further along than some might anticipate. And again, how do these deals, how are they really impacting Brandon Aiyuk's, ask, I guess you could say, or where they're kind of dug in. And I'm not necessarily looking at this as like, oh, the price just keeps raising. I think when you look at Brandon Aiyuk and his representation, they could project how the market was ultimately going to play out. We've talked on this channel about how Justin Jefferson was likely going to land in the range of $35 million per year on average. We've had those discussions, and I'm not going to sit here and say to you that I'm some kind of contract expert or anything in that regard. We just follow the trends, and it was really easy to be able to discern that the trends would have Justin Jefferson in this category. Now, one of the things that is interesting is understanding that there was this long list of wide receivers who were going to get paid, and maybe waiting a little bit too long. It's going to be interesting to see if there's anything that comes out about the 49ers potentially waiting too long and allowing the market to explode like this, because there was, from things that I've heard, Brandon Ayuk and his team really did want to get this done as as close to around the Super Bowl as possible, right after it ended, to be able to just get this thing over with and not have to drag it out. But here we are, and the wide receiver market has completely exploded. So it'll be interesting to see if there are any implications with that potential situation going down of kind of waiting on it. But nonetheless, I still believe that the 49ers and Brandon Ayuk are close. I don't think that the gap that remains is significant. I think it will something that will get bridged. It's just a matter of both sides continuing to work together to be able to get this done. I think the structure of the deal is most likely in place, and it's just kind of getting through the finer details of this whole contract negotiation. So, are there potentially teams? I think one of the things that I've seen from fans is like, oh, are we going to trade him? Is there a trade looming? I do think that there are teams out there that are interested in adding Brandon Ayuk via trade, but I'm just not sure that the San Francisco 49ers are interested in trading Brandon Ayuk because I think they fully understand the importance and how valuable BA is to this offense, and trading away a player like that, you know, with Brock Purdy, where he's at, and understanding the importance of really trying to go after a Super Bowl this year, which a lot of people are talking about as the last, the last push with the majority of this core group of players. So I don't see that as being a an outcome. I do believe fully that teams have definitely reached out, and but that doesn't mean that anything has come close to happening. So I think with where we have made it through, I do think that it's just like a lot of negotiations. There are a lot of twists and turns, ups and downs, and conversations that are had with other teams and all those different types of things. But I think just with where we currently stand, I think, and I do believe, based on what I'm hearing, that things are very close. In the sense of, as I've explained, there is a gap. The gap is somewhat sizable. However, I do believe that gap can absolutely be bridged, and I don't see that as being a breaking point really with anything that is going on with this particular deal and this negotiation. It's a matter of when, not a matter of if it seems to be at that point. So I think this is a good sign. I think we just need to be patient, allow these things to play out. Obviously, you see all these wide receivers getting paid. I don't think it's having a direct correlation with Brandon Ayuk outside of the fact that it's only just justifying and solidifying what the 49ers, or excuse me, what Brandon Ayuk and his representation have originally asked for. And I think that's why the deal will get done. The market is what dictates what these players get paid. And it's not like these guys are just coming up with an imaginary number. The market is the market. Justin Jefferson just absolutely obliterated it. So I think it's time to get BA those dollar bills, get them into camp, and get ready to go. So I'm not worried about this situation. I don't think you should be worried at all either. And we'll just continue to let this thing play out. CD Lamb still needs to get paid, but I think it's hopeful that we get BA paid sooner rather than later. Let me know what you guys think about this situation. Are you worried? Are you concerned with this situation at all in any sense? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.